Hello everybody, welcome to Hot Topics. My name is Matthew.
I'm Kevin.
And we're talking about movies.
And beer.
And beer.
And beer.
And today we're talking about Disney Plus.
And Wandavision.
Mostly Wandavision.
Mostly Wandavision. But we're doing a little pandemic,
pandemic special.
Streaming special. And so...
A pandemic special.
Disney Plus... Pretty easy to get to what we're talking about with that and what you can find and stream on there. You gotta be living under a rock to not know what's on Disney Plus, but we'll kind of touch up on it a little bit.
Yeah. We'll fill you in.
And then we'll talk about beer, and then we'll just get right into WandaVision and spend the majority of our time on that.
Yep.
So Disney Plus, and our beer today is the Pandemic Blues by Revision Brewing. This is actually the second time we're having this, because we accidentally failed recording the last time we had it. But now we get to revisit it and see if there's anything new that we find about it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Hot Topics.
So what did you find mostly on... What are you watching mostly on Disney Plus?
I'm watching mostly the shows on Disney Plus, the new shows that come out, the Marvel and Star Wars stuff. The Mandalorian was the reason that I got Disney Plus in the first place. And then after the first season ended, I thusly canceled my Disney Plus subscription. And then I restarted it once Mandalorian Season 2 came out. Other than that, I own a lot of the movies that I would watch on there. A lot of my favorite Marvel movies I already own. Star Wars I already own. But I do have to say that there is a wide variety of great old nostalgia shows, old Disney shows on there that you have a hard time finding otherwise.
Yep.
So,
which is what I usually watch. I primarily watch those.
Yeah. So,
those shows, those movies, come on.
Yeah. But now that Disney Plus is having this steady stream of shows with only a week in between when they premiere, they kind of suckered me. They got me for life.
Now that there's a little bit more of a consistent stream of shows, maybe there's a week break in between each one. I think.
Yeah, right now we're in between WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then after Falcon and the Winter Soldier ends, I think we got a week before Loki starts.
I think, yeah.
And then after Loki ends, we got about a week before The Mandalorian Season 3 starts.
Mm-hmm.
And so Disney is making sure that they've got something for you at every stage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And in between, you just watch classic movies and shows.
Yeah, it's only a week. It's not really... it's not terrible. It's not the worst.
It's not terribly long. And let's be honest, you'd probably spend more than $8 on something every week that you don't necessarily use or need.
Exactly.
So, this is $8 a month.
It's not that big a deal.
It's not bad for nostalgia.
No, not at all.
But what about you? What are you watching mostly?
Well, before WandaVision, it was mostly the old cartoon shows from when I was a kid and stuff, like Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, all the old Disney movies, some of them I don't even have, Black Cauldron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just because I like watching, I like revisiting my childhood. Okay?
Of course. That's why. Crap, look at where all of the money's going these days. It's all nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
And it's marketed perfectly to people between 20 and 40 right now. It's just that's the key demographic.
Here's
not
your
to say
childhood.
if you're under 20 or over 40, you're not going to enjoy this stuff. It's just that, boom, they're just oh, hey, you remember Kim Possible? Got it. Hey, you remember DuckTales? Way that one? Got it.
Plus, they have the new DuckTales, which is also good too. I really like the new DuckTales too. It goes a little bit more into the lore of Scrooge and stuff, and it's very interesting because
DuckTales lore.
Well, there is, because like there's there's the comic book lore, and then they kind of touch on a few of those things in the old series, but they're doing more so with the new series.
Yeah,
and which is really cool, and I'm finding that thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, I mean, you got your blockbuster staples of the last 10 years. You got your Marvel movies, you got your Star Wars movies. You got your Pixar movies, all the good Disney classics. New Disney movies. They do release new movies onto the platform, although Disney Plus has made the rather controversial decision to charge additional money. And it's not necessarily that they're charging additional money. Like, if it were $4 or $5, I wouldn't mind. Like,
yeah,
oh cool, new movie. Probably. I'll spend $5 to sit in my room and watch it one night.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new Dragon movie.
Raya the Last Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, I swear to you, I'm never gonna learn that name. Raya, Reva. Like, that movie's on there, but it's $30 to stream.
Yeah.
Disney's all like, oh, you're gonna watch it with your family. You would have spent that much money on movie tickets. Like, no, I don't have a family that I live with. I'm gonna watch that movie by myself. Also, we're in a pandemic. I'm not gonna gather with a bunch of people to watch a movie on Disney Plus. Like,
as much as I want to.
As much as I want to, yeah, I know, right? Common sense dictates, though, that we don't. We don't.
And we won't.
And we won't. And we haven't. And we'll stick to that. At least for another month or so.
Exactly.
But, yeah. I mean, Disney Plus, pretty straightforward. You know what you're getting when you sign up for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like HBO, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, where you get to discover a whole bunch of new stuff. It's where you find all the stuff that you've already seen.
Oh, yeah.
And some new stuff.
Like,
obviously,
they have
the new shows.
Like some of the National, is it National Geographic?
Yeah,
like
National Geographic.
Yeah, or like the Jeff Goldblum.
The Jeff Goldblum show.
that was so good.
So ridiculous. It's just Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum, like, amazed at everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
It really is.
I haven't watched that much of it, to be totally honest, but, it's Jeff Goldblum. Like, if you want any excuse to watch Jeff Goldblum, then just watch that show.
There you go.
And you'll get your fix. But yeah, like, other than the new shows, which we're going to be covering, after this video, we're covering all of Wandavision, because we weren't really in the flow of getting these videos out yet.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've got a little bit more of a flow going, we're going to do our whole WandaVision, synopsis / what we liked, what we didn't like, if there's anything, and talk about that. But going forward with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we're going to try and do a second video of the week just for that show, and then have our normal Thursday shooting day be dedicated to a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And a beer.
Yeah.
You can't forget the beer.
Same with
the show.
Yep.
Videos. We're going to still review a beer.
Yep.
There's endless number of beers. We can review all of them. But yeah, Disney Plus. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you probably don't want it.
Yeah, I mean...
or you know somebody else that has it and you can...
yeah.
You can go spend $30 with them to watch...
Which, if they're anything like Netflix, they're going to start cracking down. They've already said that. Netflix has already said they're going to start cracking down on sharing the password.
Yeah. I don't know how much they can really do, but...
Yeah, well...
Trace it back to individual IPs.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems a little extreme, but, whatever. Anyway, WandaVision.
WandaVision. We liked it.
Yes, thoroughly.
Quite enjoyable.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, if you don't know anything about WandaVision, we're not going to get into any spoilers right now.
No, that's later in the video.
Yeah, after we talk about the beer.
Yes.
If you want to watch up to that point, cut it out. This, we're going to talk about, no spoilers, just some great stuff that, you can take away before you go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
going into it is definitely like a new experience for Marvel watchers, and even for a lot of people,
even for like people who are just getting into it. It's a little slow rolling at the beginning, but it definitely picks up in the third episode.
Yeah. Well, what I think is great about the early episodes is it spends most of its time building the world and developing the characters. Wanda and Vision's relationship, you can see a little bit more of that, and then as we get into further episodes, how that evolves and changes and becomes what it is at the end of the show. And so, I thought at first, like, first half of the season, like, I thought it was great. Because I was enjoying it thoroughly no matter what. But yeah, the first couple of episodes were pretty slow. Like, you didn't know where it was going. It's like, oh, how long are they going to keep on the sitcom gimmick?
Yep.
You know, going through. And, you know, you get your answers to that right away. Well, not right away, but... Yeah, if you're like binge watching it, it's going to be relatively quickly that you're going to get to what more or less is going on. But yeah, it's really good, and it goes through Wanda's character arc after Endgame, and you know her dealing with the fallout of losing Vision and beating Thanos and like being blipped and all sorts of stuff. So
it's a lot of psychological trauma.
Yeah.
She goes through.
Basically, the whole show is about grief and love, and
the stages into which you go through.
Yeah. They go through the 5 stages of grief quite well.
Oh yeah, this is very nice.
Yeah,
very well done.
Yeah, I mean, freaking Kevin Feige. I mean. Guy's a genius.
Man,
and he's seeing the whole overarching picture and, like, you know, changing it and molding it and doing his thing. It's
how the heck that man knows, I have no idea.
Seriously. But yeah, like, what would you add, non-spoilery? I mean, we get some great returning small characters.
Yes. Well, I also really liked the way they did each of the sitcoms.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting because they actually touched on each one of them really, really nicely. And if you can actually pick out like which sitcoms they're going through as the series progresses, and it's quite fun, and it also brings you back into like when you're a kid and you're watching those shows for like the first time. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I mean, when they get to the whole like Malcolm in the Middle, Modern Family era, which is probably like predominantly when I watched a lot of sitcoms. It was like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, just, I mean, freaking Elizabeth Olsen does such a spectacular job portraying the character through each of these decades. And, like, there's subtle little changes to the way that, like, she behaves or the way things are, like, viewed here and there. And you kind of see that progression as the episodes go along. And it's really well done. Elizabeth Olsen did a fantastic job.
Fantastic job, yeah.
They also even touch up on some plot holes later on in the season. Some, like, overarching plot holes.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll do a lot of elaborations as well on things that, you know, were just glanced on during the movies or just touched on.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
it adds depth to the lore of the whole series.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, the series overall was very well done, and, like, it answers questions that you have. You still have a few more, but that's kind of what they were going for with this series. They wanted to give you more questions to go into the Doctor Strange movie, so...
And, yeah, they set up questions, and then you get to watch as even the characters in the show have those same questions, and, you know, like, you get answers to one thing, you get an answer to one thing, but it poses a totally different question after that.
Yep.
And so it's really cool to watch the show and see these characters, you know, going through all those different motions.
Yep.
But, yeah, you know, let's talk about the beer.
Yeah.
Alright.
So the beer.
Yeah, we got the pandemic special from Revision Brewing out of Nevada. It's a hazy IPA, and very much hazy than IPA.
Yes.
About 7%. It's at 7%. And IBU's 36, which is pretty low, so that's why it doesn't taste like an IPA.
It's not as much hops.
Yeah. It's decent.
It's not bad. It's definitely better cold. It's not gonna really change my review of it, but
yeah,
like, cause I don't want a fruity beer.
yeah. So I'm not as much about the juiciness. I want some hops.
Yeah, exactly. I want
some, you know.
I want to feel it when I'm drinking.
Yeah. Like a beer that tastes like a beer.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
This, not quite doing it for me.
Yeah.
And it's by no means a bad beer.
Oh no, not at all.
If you like hazies, this is probably right up your alley. Very like guava mango kind of flavor to it. So that's pretty rad. I do have to say the art on the can is super awesome too. Like it's all Mardi Gras, like Louisiana style, but with weird animals and demons and crap like that. So, it's pretty awesome.
There's a little virus right there.
Yeah.
But like if you're looking for like a more fruity beer, less bitterness, then this would be a good selection for you. But yeah, it's not for me. What are you rating this, Neil?
Like maybe 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate the same thing. 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5.
And that's just for our taste.
Oh, yeah.
We have very similar tastes when
Yes.
it comes to a lot of these. But, you know, drink it yourself, find out.
Yeah, give it a try.
It is kind of on the pricier side, too. It was like $16 for this 4-pack, so...
After tax, yeah.
Yeah. No, like, before tax. After tax, it's like $18.
I think it was 14.99.
I think I saw it was 16.
Either way, it's around. It's around
it's
there.
It's a pricier one.
It's around there. It's more pricey, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try a fruitier beer and give this beer a shot, this is definitely a taste for you.
Yeah.
But not necessarily us. So yeah, 2.5.
It's still very drinkable though.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know, like nothing really wrong with it. It just doesn't tickle our fancy. Quite so
Definitely want it cold though. You want it to be
Colder is a little
chilled.
better.
You want it to be chilled. It's definitely better chilled
Yeah,
and cold.
for sure. Yeah, I think,
Indeed.
we can talk about Wandavision.
All right.
All the spoilery goodness of Wandavision.
So we're 5 seconds of chug.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish what's left in this cup.
Yeah, same.
Alright, cool. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. I think I ended up being about 5 seconds anyway.
Give or take. So WandaVision.
Yes.
So good. I mean, damn.
First 3 episodes basically set up the entire story. It still gives you like a bunch of questions throughout the entire series. Like you're getting more and more questions as it progresses. Mostly because like they're trying to throw you off as the story goes.
Yeah.
But it is still a great great TV show, and I would totally watch this again.
Oh yeah,
And I'm going
also
to.
surprised we didn't already watch it again.
And I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the first 3 episodes are basically set up. They kind of hint at some outside force trying to get in at the end of the 2nd episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the 3rd one, that is when Monica Rambeau's character, Monica Rambeau, is thrown out.
Yeah, I Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I gotta say, for the first couple episodes, like the whole sitcom aspect of it, I wasn't sure I was gonna be into that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I saw like the trailers and stuff and what was going on, I was wondering if is this gonna be the whole season? Like, is this gonna like go through like decades but always keep a sitcom vibe and like tell like a weird story that way? But no, they set it up as a big mystery,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get the questions answered about what's happening is that Wanda has taken over this town and turned it into a sitcom, and then you see after that, and then we see what's going on outside of that,
Mm-hmm.
and
The Agency Sword
yeah,
is trying to get in and basically stop her. But like them head guys also trying to like destroy the new Vision and then blame everything on Wanda. So
Yeah.
they come out the good guys, but doesn't
they're
work.
obviously like bad guys.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Plus, Kat Dennings is a great character
Oh yeah.
in this show.
We get Kat Dennings, Darcy,
Mm-hmm.
returning from the Thor movies.
Yep.
Um,
Which I thought was great. So that just connects everything even more.
yeah.
Brings everything more. Which is
And
nice.
then we get the fan favorite Jimmy Woo. Oh man,
From Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Man and the Wasp. He mastered his card tricks and uses that throughout the series too.
Yep.
Like little things here and there. So funny.
Yeah, like the handcuffs thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like his character was great. Everybody's calling for a Jimmy Woo show.
The Jimmy Woo Darcy show.
Yeah. Ah, dude, I'd watch that.
Just go around the MCU just
solving weird mysteries.
Weird mysteries.
It'd be like a way to introduce very minor characters and stuff.
Yeah, so
And maybe there could be like one with Daredevil and
yes.
something like that. That'd be actually really awesome.
I would.
And they could kind of introduce those characters from the Netflix Marvel series with the Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Daredevil and all that stuff.
Those were all cast wonderfully too. Like,
Oh yeah,
they need to bring those back.
yeah.
But yeah. So like in what were some of your favorite parts, man?
Oh
In
man,
WandaVision.
I mean, I'd have to say all of my favorite parts were the Wanda and Vision kind of dynamic, like their whole relationship and everything between them, and then that going into the grief of Wanda losing Vision, and you see the stages of grief progressing throughout the series.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, all culminating in the final episode, which tugging on them heartstrings.
But yeah,
hard.
she gets to the point of acceptance, and it was watching the kids go, watching Vision go again, just so hard.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it was rough, man.
yeah.
It was rough.
But the whole line, like we've said goodbye before, stands to reason that we'll say hello again. It was just like, boom. And then watching... man.
Just watching the hex close in slowly and then everything just disappearing and going back to the way it was just it was so hard. It was so hard to watch.
It was Yeah, man.
Just rough.
It really got you emotionally.
It really did. It really did. But, like, that's just signs of a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can, like, the fact that they bring you in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole series is what, like...
It's 9 episodes, and most of them were between 30 and 40 minutes.
So, like, the whole thing is, like, what, like 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, maybe a little more, but
4.5, 5 hours, yeah.
It's really not all that long.
It's really not. But, I mean, it's everything's just so well told and well done. It's just... Even though they had to cut out parts, because the pandemic started, and that's what... that's why, like, a lot of the, like, questions weren't completely answered in episode 9, but I mean, like, it still was just a great story, all, like, through and through.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was the character development that they did with that, which really makes me excited about all these, future Marvel shows, is that you get to go a lot more in depth with the individual characters that don't necessarily have the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're more side characters to the, Captain America, Iron Man story.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's nice to see these smaller characters get more developed so that when they play a bigger part in the MCU as a whole, people actually care about them more.
Yeah, exactly.
They actually know more about them and what they're going through and how they're, how they're developing.
It's just, like, it's this whole series. It just shows you how well they're built, their character building.
Yeah.
And which makes me very excited for Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then, like, there's also Armor Wars after that, Secret Wars. Just makes me very excited for everything that they're doing, which is
absolutely.
Cannot wait.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super hyped about that. Before, like, I was excited about it, obviously, because it's, going to be expanding on 2 characters. But, I don't know, like, something about it, just like kind of how WandaVision was initially introduced. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to be. Like, is it going to be like this the whole time? Or is it, what's going on with this?
I hope that they do in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, kind of like the same, like, dynamic that it was in the first Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, that would be great.
Like they eventually, at the end of the series, they like each other enough to tolerate each other. So that way, it just builds more on that, and they can expand further into the MCU as a whole, which is what they're doing, which is awesome.
Yeah. Man, that was a long tangent.
Yeah,
it was. Well, just from asking me about my favorite part of WandaVision.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Touched on a lot of points that we weren't even, like, at story-wise ready to touch on yet.
True.
But, what were some of your favorite parts? I mean,
I really like the
favorite parts too.
Well, the vision versus vision part in the library, where they're talking to each other. I love that whole thing. The back and forth is just incredible. Like, they hit on so many different points, and it's just wonderful. Like, I love that entire part. Plus, the more robotic vision flies off, so he's gonna come back somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
And that just kind of reinforces the fact that he's not completely robotic, but he needs to understand fully what just happened.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where they take that character and how they, develop that character going forward. Because, last thing we hear from him is, "I am Vision," and then and we don't really get a true sense of what that actually means.
True.
Because, like, he has the memories, but, like, if he had the feelings, he would have gone and helped Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it seems like
Yeah, like I think that he'll go to the whole back to the whole part where he's robotic. He needs to understand what these things mean. So I think that's the whole good point of where they were going with that.
Yeah. More Wandavision.
I'm leaving that in there.
You know what to do.
But yeah, so like, and more, yeah, the relationship between them is also really nice. But the setup for more of the supernatural aspects of the MCU was a great touch. Like they mentioned the Darkhold and like stuff like that, and like magic, wizards, like sorcerers and stuff like that. They mentioned
like
they mentioned
the Sorcerer
Supreme.
Like, we know that's coming. So it's like, oh, so the Scarlet Witch is supposed to be more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes,
which is saying a lot.
Yes.
So,
but yeah, so I mean, like I like those two aspects of the plus the second after credit scene was awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, the full outfit, was just like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her Scarlet Witch outfit is really well done.
Oh yeah.
Not quite as push-up bra, cleavage shot.
Although I did like that costume. That was a nice one. But yeah, like the way that they designed the costume and the look of it, it touches on a lot of different outfits that she's had over the years of being in the comics, and it comes together so well in the series. It's just so good.
Oh, absolutely does. Yeah, and probably my other favorite parts, but lesser than the first favorite parts. More all the Agatha
parts.
Dude, Catherine Hahn.
Serious.
Killed it as Agatha Harkness / Agnes. Man, she was the best nosy neighbor character.
Yeah. Plays that character perfectly.
Just too easy.
Yeah, it's uncanny.
And yeah, like when she reveals herself as Agatha Harkness and like seeing her backstory and like kind of hinting at what her powers are. Well, it shows you what her powers are, but it doesn't really say whether or not that's like her innate ability or like something that she learned from the Darkhold. But either way, it hints at that.
Yeah.
For the battle between Wanda and Agatha at the end, and man, that fight scene too.
Oh, dude, yeah, the whole fight was just wonderful.
Yeah, it was really interesting because it wasn't all just fisticuffs and explosions and lasers. Like the Vision on Vision fight ends with with a question.
Yeah.
And like a whole philosophy, and then Vision gives the other Vision the memories, and then with the Agatha and Wanda fight, like it doesn't just straight up witch blasts and crazy magic attacks and stuff. Like Wanda goes and does her like mind manipulation stuff and tries to scare the crap out of Agatha, and then she reverses it on her. And so like seeing that whole mental battle but actually like taking place but not in the real world was like such a cool concept.
That was really cool. I really liked that too.
Yeah. So that was another favorite part of mine.
plus just bringing in Quicksilver, like all his little
I know. One, they brought in, Peter from the X-Men.
Yeah, Evan Peters.
Like Evan Peters' character from the X-Men movies is basically the same character. Like, he acts the same way, But, he's got all the quips and everything. But it's just such a huge tease for them to use him. It's like, you see him for the first time, and what's going on? Like, what's happening?
I was
are they
expecting...
really introducing mutants this way? It's like, there's some interdimensional thing going on. Like, what's happening? This is crazy. And no, it was just some guy that Agatha manipulated Wanda to see him as Pietro.
Mm-hmm.
And he happened to be the Peter from the X-Men movies. So, that was a total troll from Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
That was 100% troll. And then people were saying, like, the Fantastic Four tease was a troll too, but it was really just kind of like, no, like, a physicist would have to design the vehicle, like, she has to know a physicist. Doesn't necessarily mean it's Reed Richards.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they were, like, I was hoping that they would introduce Blue Marvel with that one, because Monica Rambeau actually ends up being in a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that would have been really nice. But, like, I understand that they didn't have time. They probably haven't cast that person yet, or even thought about casting that person yet.
Yeah, like,
so
could be part of a totally different storyline.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there are a completely different movie. Like
there are also rumors that in Captain Marvel 2 that they're going to introduce Blue Marvel. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if that's actually true. But I mean, but yeah, like, Reed Richards would have been nice, but I think they're it's way too early for Reed Richards even to name drop Reed Richards.
I mean, can you imagine being like a director and just being like, yeah, we're going to set up this really cool scene that, like, probably cost some ton of money and, like, resources to build this truck and, like, do the scene and then, like, have this huge impact of, Monica Rambeau getting her powers.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's, like, got this high expectation that it's a Fantastic Four reveal when really it's supposed to be Monica Rambeau's moment. Like, can you imagine?
It was.
Directors saw, like, nobody say anything. Let them yap, and maybe it'll just go away. Maybe it'll just go away.
but yeah, like seeing Monica Rambeau, like, focus, trying to get back into the Hex was, like, focus her powers and, like, get through was a nice touch.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice, very well done, and I really, really hope that they expand on that in Captain Marvel 2.
Oh, I'm sure they will, because, I mean, she's going to be a big part of it, for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, I also kind of feel like, how Monica Rambeau was both Spectrum and the other one.
Photon?
Yeah, Photon. They might just, like, combine the attributes of both those characters just to make it
then
one,
she was
like,
both those characters, so...
Well, yeah, she was both those characters. So, like, combine the attributes of those characters so that it's just one Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Going forward, and she's not, like... I mean, they could do, name swaps.
Yeah.
They've done with, with Bucky, being the Winter Soldier. And the White Wolf. And possibly Captain America at some point if Sebastian Stan decides to just keep making tons of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a hard decision to make.
But I mean,
especially if Kevin Feige's out like, we need you. You're going to be crucial down the line. So I'm like, well, yep, I'll take all of your millions of dollars. Yes, thank you.
I will take this, thank you. But, yeah, so what would you rate this?
Rate WandaVision?
Out of 5.
Out of 5. Like, it's almost perfect.
It really is.
Like, for me, like, having the mystery and intrigue parts, having the comedy of it, having, the depth at which they expanded the characters and the lore of the characters, the, you know, going through the stages of grief, and the level that they went to, like, pulling on your heartstrings for that last episode.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the show's damn near perfect for me.
Yep.
Honestly, I could say it's probably perfect, but I'm sure I could nitpick it here and there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd just give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Absolute must watch.
Oh, yeah.
You may not like it as much as me, but I guarantee you'll probably at least like it.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. Definitely 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it multiple times and most likely pick out more things that I didn't see the first time.
Probably. But, you know, at the same time, I watch videos on it all the time, too.
Yes, same. So,
like, there's a lot of, like, little things that you can see in so many different things.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, 5 out of 5 from both of us.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, I think that about wraps it up. So,
Well, here's to you.
here's to me.
Friends for life we shall always be.
If by chance we disagree,
And then screw you.
here's to me. Cheers.
Cheers.